Hey everyone, your designers are here. I'm Anita from Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home.
We've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today, so let's get started.
Today is episode 84, Fresh Ways to Decorate a Hutch.
Love it.
And you know what? I would say that most of us have a hutch. We've been given a hutch or we know a hutch.
Oh, we've known a hutch.
Or we've known a hutch in our
we've
past.
Loved
That's
a
right.
hutch. Yes, that's
at
right,
one
some
point in our past.
True.
And
true.
I think there is so many ways that you can decorate a hutch. And a hutch can look fabulous, but it can also look pretty frumpy and dated as well. Okay, don't send me mail on this, but I think there are so many wonderful ways other than having it match everything like in your dining room, because that's what I'm thinking of, with all your wedding china in it. But there's so many other ways that you can decorate it so it'll look fresh and updated and just a really lovely piece in your home. What do you think?
Well, and Yvonne, I want to add to that. You may not have a traditional hutch. I know at the mountain house that we rent out, we don't have a hutch, but I have a long it's a long piece that has a big countertop on it. It's an antique piece. It looks like a countertop or a counter from an antique store.
Mm-hmm.
And then above it, I have a very large shelf unit that's an antique pine piece.
Oh,
so
yes.
Even if you don't have a hutch, you may have some shelves on your wall that you could use these tips with.
Yeah, and I would even think open shelves, you could do the same thing. But let's dress that hutch. Let's get it dressed up and fresh looking. And I think part of that starts with, I'm just going to say, hey, if you have, paint your hutch.
I second that.
Yes.
Paint your hutch.
Yeah. Especially if you have matching like table and chairs and a hutch. The quickest way to update that is to get rid of the two chairs, do something with them, put a bench in, and then paint the hutch. And it's so easy to paint.
Yeah, or you could strip
idea.
it too. So if you've got some wood that maybe you don't like the stain on, you could strip it. That's a bit of a process, but that's something you might want to do. Take it down.
Or how about your favorite, Kelly? Spray paint.
You could spray paint it. Yeah.
I know that Amy Howard has a lacquer product out. And can you imagine if you'd like spray painted some gorgeous bright color?
Yeah, that could be super fun. Talk about fresh. That's super fresh.
Yes,
that's true. And if you spray painted it and then changed your mind later, it would be fairly easy to change that out with a different color. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
and hutches might sound, like, oh, hutch, like it might sound old, but we're
little
not
old.
talking china cabinets, the china cabinet, but hutches are very charming and certainly go along with farmhouse and all of the looks that we love. So,
that's a good point.
You can find
Kelly,
hutches at thrift stores for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could use these same techniques if you had a china cabinet, though, right?
Well, a lot of the hutches you can find today are china cabinets at the thrift stores.
And I think a lot of listeners have a china cabinet. So
I think you're right.
We're going to try to help them work with that and make it just the best it can be.
Yeah. You can take the doors off your hutches too.
Yes, that would be beautiful.
Or add chicken wire instead of the glass.
Now that's a lovely look. And here's another look. You could do some kind of effect to the back of the hutch. Now you could put.
Oh yes, I love that. You could
paint it a different color, or you could put wallpaper up there, or you could even put like beadboard up there, and that beadboard would give it a really fresh look as well.
That's a great idea.
I love that.
Also, if you have cabinets on the bottom, you could take the cabinet doors off and put baskets, find baskets that fit those spaces. And let's say you have two cabinet doors that have like maybe one shelf, so you could put 4 of the same kind of basket in there, and that would really freshen it up, don't you think?
Oh, I like that idea. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Oh, I love the baskets.
Because a hutch is really a functional piece of furniture. And I have one that I had purchased a long time ago at a thrift store. It was a really great price. And I wanted to use it in our garage outside for my craft materials. I had little jars and buttons and this and notions and things like that. And then when we moved here, in the kitchen, I thought I was going to do this little breakfast nook area, but honestly, it was just too small of a space to get people's legs in there and make a banquette and all that. So I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll just do some, the cabinets. The cabinet guy will just put cabinets in here. Well, for that section, it was going to be pretty expensive to put cabinets, and it would have just been sort of like a wall of cabinets probably. So I remembered and then saw my Hutch out in the garage, and I thought, why don't I just slide that in there?
That garage is a treasure trove.
It really is.
A decor treasure trove.
So, well, this is kind of a little funny story, but it eventually worked out. So I measure it, and then I go in and I measure the walls, and now we're still under construction. The kitchen is not completed, so there was no molding on the baseboards yet. So I measure it, and you guys, it's literally to the 16th of an inch. This thing will slide right in. And thank goodness it was the kind with the bottom, and it's kind of that pine with the wormwoody look.
Yes.
And then the top was separate. So so it was kind of a beast to carry, but at least it wasn't the two pieces together. So I say to Peter, well, this is just going to work out great, and let's just slide it in there and make sure, but it's gonna fit. Well, because this was 4 or 5 days later after the molding had been put on, but I didn't think to remeasure. So now we have molding and then that little shoe molding on the bottom. So we're sweating it out, and we drag this thing out, and it's heavy. And then we drag it and we carry it up the steps to the back of the house, and we open all the back doors, and we get it in, and it is just not making it by about an inch.
Oh, no.
But this is a good story because the actual piece had some molding on the bottom of it too. So my carpenter dude, my Superman that comes here and helps me, was able just to take the molding off the sides. You can't even tell that he took it off. We slid it in, and then he shaved a little off the horizontal part so it could slide right in, and the other part was slightly smaller, the top part, so that sat right on top, no problem. And now it looks like a real built-in. So
I'm gonna have to relook at those. I see your pictures of your kitchen all the time.
Well, now that you know the story behind it, so I suggest to anybody, if you've got a little spot in your kitchen, measure it with the molding on it already. And if you find a Hutch, it is a great way to add personality to a kitchen. It is functional. The bottom, I keep my big bowls for baking and things like that in the bottom, and then the top has glass, and so I've decorated that in just a way that's pretty. It's not really functional on the top, and I didn't have to spend the money for the extra cabinetry, and I like the look of a piece of furniture in the kitchen, so it's not all matchy-matchy.
Right. Oh, it's a fantastic idea.
So a Hutch is a great way to fill a space like that.
Well, and I want to give Kelly the tip of the day.
Okay.
Woo!
For saying
what?
that you need, saying something about having this great carpenter. And maybe the great carpenter is your husband, or maybe it's you. But it's so valuable if you have somebody if you have the name of an upholstery guy or a carpenter guy or a plumber guy. It's so valuable anytime you need, especially though the carpentry work. I had so much carpentry work done in my house and when we were having it built. And I think our carpenter, whose name was Jesus, by the way, did such an amazing, amazing job. And so it really can make the difference. If you've got somebody, they can come up with some creative solutions like she had, or even craft something for you. So anyway, that's my tip. That's Kelly's tip of the day.
That's a great tip.
Ding,
that
ding,
works
ding,
well.
ding, ding. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well, I had a Hutch in my living room for a few years.
Ooh, interesting.
I had found this piece online I loved. Well, there was no way I was going to spend them as much as they wanted for it. So it sort of got me thinking, well, maybe I could put a Hutch in the living room and decorate it sort of like a bookcase, but I didn't want a bookcase. So I was looking, and I went online and I found one up about 45 minutes from where I live. But I went into this place and it was like, oh, it was so filthy. And it was sort of like, oh, I don't know, like dingy. And they had all these people hanging around that looked a little nefarious. And it was like, I was determined to go get that Hutch though. So I went into this place and I was a little frightened, to be honest with you. what we do for
But
the right piece of
undeterred.
furniture.
Yeah, it didn't slow her down at all.
That Hutch was in there, and I was going to get it, with my can of mace or whatever. And I just thought, all right, I can do this. And then this one old dude kept following me around, like everywhere I went, like, dude, there's nothing in here that I would want to take, except I just want the
that
Hutch.
guy. So you don't mean like to grab your purse. You mean you were
I
a
don't
thief.
know, but I'm thinking that he worked there. But
Well, sure, because they probably do have a lot of problems with that in that area.
I don't know.
Well, maybe
I
they
just
didn't
don't
have
know.
such pretty ladies coming in all the time.
Oh, maybe he was after you, Yvonne.
Let me tell you, there was nothing else that anybody probably would have wanted in that place. But I did find my Hutch, and I bought it, and I had a small shipping fee. They brought it right to my house and put it in, and I painted it. And I'll put that online. I no longer have it because I have a big piece of art there. And then I was able to give it to another family to use in their house.
Well, that's a great story, Yvonne.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you one of my favorite looks for a hutch.
Hmm.
And it's kind of adding some ideas of what we've already talked about with a different color in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you painted the back of the cupboard, if you put wallpaper or painted it just some beautiful blue or some other color back there, and then put white ironstone pitchers and plates in
that's
front,
beautiful.
that just speaks to me in it just is so gorgeous to me. So that's what I would do with a hutch. If I wanted to modernize it and make it really fresh looking, that's what I would do.
Well, and I know our friend Kim from Savvy Southern Style. She has like a famous hutch.
Oh, yes.
That
yes.
hutch in her dining room has been
She's a famous
photographed.
But she has a new one. Did you know
Seriously.
she has an antique piece
Yes,
in there
I
now?
saw that in her, and the hutch I'm talking about is up in a guest bedroom.
Yes,
But-
I saw that too.
Our lives are so weird that we know all this
Yeah.
stuff.
We've never even been to
We
Kim's
know
house,
where
but
your
we know-
hutch. No, I've been in Kim's house.
Oh,
We
I have
know-
not been in Kim's
Kim,
house.
we know where your hutch is.
Yeah,
But
and we're
anyway,
coming to get it.
But
Hey, we're
but-
coming. That's right. We're coming to Atlanta, Kim. So expect
Kim-
to knock on that front door of yours.
But Kim painted her hutch, and it was I think at one time was sort of a yellowy but beautiful. I mean, she can paint like nobody else I know. And the inside it was yellow, and then the inside was blue.
Beautiful
That was
blue.
on like
Yeah.
the cover of magazines.
Yes, it
and it was
was.
everywhere. Yeah, so and it was the bones of it were beautiful. It was a beautiful hutch, but she had the foresight to think I could just up it up a notch and it'll look really fresh. And that is probably the most famous hutch I know.
Well, and
to be
Yvonne,
honest with you,
I think
Mhm.
yeah, if
Go,
you could
Kim.
do that with about any china cabinet or hutch,
Yes.
to really make it
Yes,
beautiful.
absolutely.
So if you're try that, if you're really unhappy with the way it
paint
looks, I
that
think-
cherry hutch.
yeah.
That's what I say.
And if you
I know I'm
don't
gonna
want
get mail for
to,
this.
you can
You
email
don't have to,
Yvonne
right?
and tell her why you're not. Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order.
But I think it's so important that we just take things that we have that are beautiful and freshen them up. And listen, I couldn't give my dining room, my mahogany table away. I actually did finally give it away, but I couldn't give it to any of my family members. They don't want it. And Anita, you sent me such a good article about your kids don't want your stuff.
Oh, I know. That's been going around the internet.
Yes.
And I kind of have very mixed feelings about it because we inherited a garage full of stuff that was just stuff that you throw away or just
and a piano.
Get to Goodwill. Yes, and a piano. But so on the one hand, I think, get rid of that stuff. But on the other hand, some of this stuff, it makes me sad that the kids don't want it because there's so many fantastic things that I think people don't care about anymore that are really worth keeping, like silver and some of this, the ironstone, just some beautiful old things.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they're not thrown in a landfill somewhere because 10 years from now, people are going to be sorry if they got rid of it all.
Well, but see, kids like my kids, they live very minimally, very organized. Their spaces are so organized, and that's just not what they want to do. So don't throw your hutch away. Do something with it yourself because your kids probably don't want it.
Don't give those rotten kids your hutch. Listen to us.
I was just going to say, or they may not deserve it.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Don't put all your china up on its rim, like standing up like little soldiers, stack it, put, stack a few plates and put a picture on it, mix up what you have in there and store if you only use your good china 3 times a year, if you have a basement, store it in your basement. I know, and just maybe put something up there that's a little fresher. What do you think?
Yeah, what fresh things?
I'm pulling you into this. I don't want to be the only one that says, put your china down in your basement.
Oh, well, it depends on how I have mine. Well, okay. I have a lot of china sitting out that I love, but it's antique and it's got gold on it and it's made in France. That stuff I keep sitting out. But the stuff I registered for when I got married, I've been begging my husband to get rid of it, but he said, it's like you're throwing our marriage away.
Oh,
he's the holdup. He won't let me get rid of it.
Sweet.
But it looks so,
it gets dated.
It looks so dated to me. I have it in a cabinet. I've done what I tell people not to do. Don't just put it in a cabinet. Use it or get rid of it. But I'm not allowed. So what can I do? I'm stuck.
You don't have a basement. That's right. Put it under your bed in a box. There you go. Oh. It's taken care of. When you just don't know where to put anything, put it under your bed.
It's above my refrigerator right now.
Oh, there you go.
So if anybody wants it, no, I can't. I wish I could give it away.
No, you're not allowed.
I'm sorry.
Well, okay. So let's talk about what you would put in a hutch to freshen it up.
Okay.
I think maybe if you have a hutch that's going already or a china cabinet that's going already, take some stuff out. Let's clear it out.
Absolutely. Yep. Take everything out.
Take everything out. Maybe it needs a little dusting off. Mine probably
and only put maybe a third back.
Right. And maybe choose one color. Maybe white.
Oh,
Maybe that color.
Yes, white it is.
White would be my choice. Well, that's what's going on in mine.
Mine too. But
or blue and white. If you
I
like
think that's a
that.
big
Blue and
mistake
white's
people
nice.
make is overloading them. So
absolutely.
definitely clear it out. Don't have too much stuff in there.
Okay, here's the thing that we're telling you. Where decades and decades ago, like my mom, she would store her china in it. We're just saying we're using a hutch. You can store some things, but it's much more of a decorative piece.
Correct.
Yes.
Nowadays, yes.
Because it was a china cabinet, because that's where you put your china.
That's exactly right.
And I think leave a lot of empty space, some negative space. Every spot does, things don't have to be piled up and in front of other things. So create something, then there's some space around it. Create something else, and there's some space around it. And do highs and lows. Maybe add in, if it can get some fresh air and some sun, add in a plant or in
a little white pot,
in a little
like
white
that.
pot,
Sure.
or some white terracotta pots, or just a pretty little pot, maybe a moss ball, or if you have to go a faux little boxwood ball, something like that. Some greenery is nice to be mixed in. You can stack platters. Looks nice.
Absolutely.
Put a picture on top of it. And so have the eye moving around through the hutch. I'm picturing, maybe 3 shelves, something like that. That's kind of a normal hutch setup, don't you think?
Right, exactly. Yes.
Something like that.
And another thing that you can do is, if you're going to keep the doors on your hutch, when you close the door, hang little tiny boxwood wreaths.
So cute.
Oh, I love the little wreaths.
Yeah, I know. That
those.
looks so nice.
And I know we all love old antiques, vintage silver. So I love getting an ironstone pitcher or just some old pitcher and putting that old silverware in the pitcher. Put that on your hutch. It's going to be gorgeous.
And we've done that for years, and that has not gone out of style. That looks lovely.
No, it hasn't. And then, but anything silver, I think you can overdo it. I wouldn't overdo it, but maybe one silver bowl, one silver pitcher, I think would be nice in the mix.
Another thing, if you collect, like I collect ironstone soup tureens. Now, you don't want to put them all in there, but that would be nice to put like one in the center on the top shelf, 2 on each side on the second shelf, and then something spectacular on the bottom shelf in the middle.
That's a nice idea too. One year I started doing this, and I've done it. I didn't do it last year, I don't think, or maybe the year before, but Christmas comes around, and everybody's so nice to everybody, and your family might get you something, but there's always a kind of one thing.
What kind of family do you have? Everyone's nice to everyone?
Well,
everyone's nice.
I mean, in the general,
nice to hear at Christmas.
the general public, general public. Everybody's
okay.
So, but you don't always. This is hard to say this, but you don't always get exactly what you want. Not that you have to get anything, but so what I've done for myself is sometimes I'll just pick out something. I'll be like, that'll be my little Christmas present to myself. So, and then I don't feel guilty about it. So one year I bought myself these vintage canisters on Etsy, these French canisters, and I have them in my hutch now, and they're so useful. So that was they're special to me because they were my little Christmas present to myself. And they're so functional because you can put stuff in them. I don't put food in them, but I have batteries in one of them, and I have safety pins in the little one. So those are so pretty, and they have a lot of them on Etsy and eBay and whatnot. And again, that's more of a vintage look. But if you're not a vintage lover and you like something more modern, I think it would be so fun to, as I think Yvonne said in the beginning, maybe lacquer a hutch, like transform it completely, make it black, make it royal blue, whatever is your fun color, and make
it orange.
Yeah, make it orange.
I know.
And then just put like cool, like maybe some hammered metal bowls or something like that, and maybe some succulents or something like that, and really change the whole look of it completely.
Oh, absolutely.
And Kelly, a lot of color is coming back in. So I've seen so many pieces of furniture painted deep, rich, bold colors.
Well, we said those bold colors are coming back for this next year.
I think this would be such a fun piece to paint. I think if it's in your breakfast room, your dining room, your kitchen, it's a big piece. A hutch is, it takes up a lot of visual space. So if you decided to just paint this one piece, it would be such a dramatic focal point for your room.
It would be beautiful. Absolutely.
And if you don't have one, again, go to your local Goodwill. They are, they're just
they're
teeming
everywhere.
with them.
People are just
or
getting
ask
rid of them.
somebody if they're getting rid of their hutch.
Or drive around on big trash
Ask
day.
your mom.
Oh, on big trash day, I bet you'd find one.
big trash
Seriously.
days. Yeah.
Because we have where we can put out big things like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
we've got
and
that
it's like
too.
a major garage sale in my
Oh,
area.
it's an exciting day. And when I was walking with my friend Therese, we would pick up stuff on our walks
I know,
that
it's
the nights
terrible.
before, and I carried this one huge shelf all the way. It wasn't a shelf; it was a drawer. I was going to make into a tray, but then when I got it home, it was a little more work than I wanted. And I'm thinking,
So you just put it out on your big trash.
I have carried that shelf so far to my house. It was so heavy.
Aerobic exercise.
And
There you
Therese
go.
had some big clunking things she was carrying. We were exhausted by the time we got
That's so funny. You got an arm workout.
Oh, well, she
too.
didn't end up keeping her thing either. I think we both said, this isn't going to work.
You
So
just got wrapped
all
up
that-
in the moment.
And
Oh,
girls, here's the thing. I call it playing with my dishes. Spend time arranging and rearranging, and don't let things sit for months and months and years and go without freshening them up. That's
true.
the fun thing to do. Cycle your things in and out of the hutch to make it interesting. Add a little bit of whatever's going on in the outside or the season or the holiday into your hutch. The idea is to make it really pleasing, and just don't make it a place where your old china sits.
Yeah. So if it hasn't
Or your
Tip of the
hummus.
day.
if it hasn't changed in 10
Ding, ding, ding,
years,
ding, ding.
if it hasn't changed in 10 years, Mom, I'm talking to you. It's time to take that stuff out and
Is
rearrange
she
it.
listening? Though? I know.
No, of course she's not listening.
But didn't you try to rearrange her room? And she said, well, I'm just going to put it back anyway.
Oh no, I gave her some idea. I knew she wasn't going to, but I just had these ideas for how she could redo her kitchen, because it's this teeny tiny little box, and then she's got an open concept space, and every time I'm there, I'm visually moving walls, and so I just gave her some tips.
Yeah.
I knew she's not going to do that. But
Sometimes you just have to hold your tongue, Nita Jean.
Oh, no, we
it's
were
like,
just-
yeah, but it's, I'm like that. Like, my mom's pretty hip, but I'll say, Mom, do blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, well, I shouldn't have said anything.
oh no, she didn't. She wasn't upset or anything. She
Good.
knew that. She said, "I'm not doing it." I said, "Okay."
Absolutely.
Right? You freshen up
Right.
your wardrobe and your accessories. Your hutch does too. It's okay. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef, because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. So I think that if you have a hutch, you should take a look at it today or tomorrow and send us a picture of your hutch. And if
we'd love that.
We would love to see it. It's probably fabulous. So just take a picture of it as it is. If you think your hutch needs some freshening, take a before and after, because nothing gets us going like a before and after.
That's true.
We would enjoy that tremendously. And gosh, if you don't have a hutch, go and see if you can find one. I don't know. What would you...
Go take a walk on Large Garbage Day.
Large Garbage Day. I mean,
yeah,
I think you could probably get a hutch at a thrift store for $100. Or
yes,
yeah,
I got mine
so.
for $99.
There you go.
Absolutely.
You were, man, y'all are good.
Yeah, and then you maybe that you have to get someone to take it to your house for you, but I think it would be worth it. Measure twice, measure with moldings, and make sure that it would fit. But I think that everybody can have a hutch somewhere in their house, and then it's a fun place to decorate. Mm-hmm. We enjoy
Hutches
it.
need home. Hutches needs homes.
Hutches needs homes. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's a little hard to say, actually.
That was.
You did very well.
Okay.
So thanks for joining us today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Hey there. If you're loving our podcast like we're loving our podcast, we would love you to rate and review us. Head to iTunes to do that. It's easy, and it would mean so much to us.